I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, thinking about it now, but I mean, hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laraddiji. If you're watching for the first time, you're most especially welcome to this family. Have you seen an episode about the products I used when my kids were younger? Okay, I think you'll learn a thing or two if you watch it and even have a comment or two about it. Just check it out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you've been inspired from what you hear today. Shout out to my husband. He's helping me make all of this look very well. I'll link his details down below if you need him for video production projects in the New York City area. It's a freestyle week, so I wanted to talk about a very important topic. My experiences with schools I attended back home and here in US. Alright, so let's get to it. I love that I get to go back in time with you guys to the schools I attended back in my home country, Nigeria, compared to the ones I attended here in the States. So thank God for YouTube. I'll also be able to watch this video many years to come, hopefully. I really wish I started YouTubing many years ago because I think I have some sort of memory problem, mostly detailed memory loss. For the purpose of this video though, I'll only talk about memories that stand out from all the schools I've attended. I was born in Lagos State. This is usually the state where I believe most people who travel to Nigeria visit first. I don't remember much from the first school I attended, called Police Children's School, but I do remember seeing a class picture later on when I was older in our family photo album, which I don't have here. The pictures are all, back home. My mom and I actually lived with my with my grandparents when I was about 4 years old here, and the picture was taken around maybe 1991. In the picture, I remember seeing my mom, who was also a teacher in that school, myself, and the rest of my primary 1 class that I was apparently a part of, equivalent to first grade here in the States. I also remember my parents telling me stories where she would try to get a seat on an overcrowded public bus by putting me through the window of the bus and then telling the bus conductor she had to get to her daughter. Basically, getting transportation was a hassle back then, and that was one of the ways, that people would resort to doing, to get a seat on the bus. So earlier on in my parents' marriage, they were living apart due to their jobs. Then my mom and I moved to Osun State where my dad was. I had a little brother by now. I was maybe 5 years old, and the year was 1992. I remember attending this very small school not far from my house called Osun State College Primary School. It was the only school I attended that had a school bus. I believe another school had a school bus, but this was one that I used actually. So my brother and I attended only 1 grade here. For me, that was primary 2, equivalent to 2nd grade. Nothing much really happened here for me, but I do remember my parents saying I discovered the swing here and that my uniform was always dirty, brown as brown can be by the time I came home. Even if my uniform was washed, dried, cleaned, and pressed the night before, it would come back dirty brown by the time they picked me up. And then we had to move again, about 30 minutes to an hour away from where we lived. Then I started attending a Catholic school called St. Franciscan Primary School. I did my 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade in that school from 93 to around 95. By now, I was about 8 years old, and nothing much really happened here in this school, but I do remember getting an infected knee that made me walk very funny for an 8-year-old, right? Because of the pain, I was in so much pain. So because of the pain I was in, I was walking funny. My knee got so swollen and painful, and after a while, without medical treatment, it started oozing out a lot of yucky stuff, okay? I don't think I've ever fallen ill except for this. I think I got a septic knee. from kneeling down, because that's how we show respect to our elders. And like how Chinese people will bow, we kneel down on the floor. So I think I might have scraped my knee on some dirt or something, and bacteria entered it. And that was my first run-in with clinics in Nigeria. So anyway, I believe that's where my love for nursing came from anyway. All right. A nurse had made an impression on me when I was being treated. While schooling at San Francisco, my parents also made money, farming. Things were very tough around this time, and the only way that we could make money was to farm. My dad had some experiences with his dad, so we were able to grow yam and peppers and corns and other things. And one thing that I definitely enjoyed about that time was that I loved helping my dad in his plantation. I don't remember a time when I helped my mom in the kitchen, but I was always with my dad. So this made me very independent at a very young age. And I, even now as an adult, I always find myself telling people, it's okay. You don't have to help me. I'm not helpless. I can do it, is really what I want to say. If I need help, I'll ask. Not in any proud way, but I've always learned to do tough tasks myself. So anyway, I don't want to go to another topic. So from Osun State, then we had to move again back to my grandma's house in Lagos State. My grandpa had passed on by this time. My dad won US lottery, and he would travel to the States. So my schooling adventure continued. That ended in primary 5 in Osun State, and then the adventure continued in Shadell Montessori High School in 1996. I'll tell you something about this school. The reason we started attending this school, my brother and I, my immediate brother and I, is because when my mom went to the school, literally, my mom looked up and the ceiling was like, oh my goodness, eye-catching. And my mom said, this is the school you're going to. I kid you not. We went to the school because of the ceiling. Okay? I'm telling you. So anyway, I actually love this school. I had to repeat primary 5. I don't know, for some reason. 5th grade, that's 5th grade equivalent here. I had to repeat it. I don't know why. I learned the Montessori way of spelling, and then I finished my primary school education the year after. There was a time I thought I would attend boarding school in another state for my secondary school education, and actually I had to cut my hair in preparation for that, but that ended up not happening. So now I ended up bald and needed another high school to go to. I later came back to Lagos again and started attending Distinct Middle College, DMC, I call it. I lasted only 1 year in this school, a year and a half or so, because 2 phenomenal incidents happened here. This was the first time I passed out. Okay, that's number 1. Thinking about it now, I was most likely dehydrated for some reason. Okay, I remember vividly singing Nigeria's national anthem, and I blacked out. And I do remember we were on the school assembly where all the students of the entire school, stood, and the teachers would be in the front, and I passed out, flat out passed out. All I saw was one of the teachers, some of the teachers running towards me, and they picked me up and took me to the school's clinic. So, as a Nigerian kid, when you pass out, right, all hell breaks loose. What's going on? What happened? Why did she pass out? So I was given a liter of fluids, and I had the most delicious and over-sweetened and concentrated chocolate milk. Thinking about it now, oh my gosh, it was so good. I was maybe 10 or 11 years old here, and trust me, I loved the attention. The second incident in this private school was that I'm pausing. The second incident in this private school was that there were probably less than 10 students in a class. So basically in my class, there was about 6 students, I think. And then we had male twins enroll and join our class. The twins are actually in London now. They're living their life. They're married with kids. Anyway, we had downtime on this glorious and beautiful day. And we were talking and, gisting, and I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, thinking about it now, but I mean, we were just gisting, right? So I said, after the twins, we haven't had any student join us. What's going on? What's going on? You guys must be blocking the door of our class. That's all I said though. I didn't cuss. I didn't shake it for anybody. I did not say a bad word. I did not wish someone dead. I did not wish someone ill. Alright? But apparently, the principal of the school was walking around at that same exact time I was talking. And all she did was call me into her office. She accused me, of blocking the door of that class so that students wouldn't come into the class. Who am I? What's my own? What's my business? I'm in the school to learn. Are they paying me? Anyway, I forget the whole details about, the whole thing, but I do remember the end of it all was that I had to leave the school. Okay? That was the end of the story. I had to leave. And let's just disrupt an innocent child's school education career over nonsense, right? So I left the school because of that. That didn't even hurt me, right? There was a book that was gifted to me around that same time by one of my seniors then. The principal seized it from me. Why? I don't know. I never saw that book ever again. This simple story is a big thing that happened in my life that I sometimes don't even want to remember. But I just thank God that that's over. From that incident, I kind of retreated and wouldn't speak or really talk about my inner thoughts. My parents at this time were not with us, and going through all this really was very tough. This might be the reason why I forget things easily, because I just try not to hold on to anything seriously in particular. So the moral of the story is that when you're living your life, always remember that nothing just happens just for it to happen. God is the master planner and he knows the beginning from the end. I believe now from the bottom of my heart that God just saved me from a bigger problem and put me in a safe place instead. While I was attending the primary school, Shadell Montessori Primary School, they didn't have a high school then. That was one of the reasons I had to attend another high school in the first place. But thank God by the end of the accusation issue that I was the one holding the class and not letting people come in as if I am the gate man and they had a gate man, as if I was the gate man of the class. So anyway, after all that, Shadell International High School was born, and they were building it at the time. So by the time all that issue was over, Shadell International High School was enrolling students, and there I found myself. I attended junior secondary school, the second and the third part, and then I finished my senior secondary 1 and the beginning of SS2 when the plans to travel to United States and reunite with my parents came to pass. So the classes that I attended in that high school was equivalent to the 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade. I was about to start 11th grade when we came here to the States. The awesome experience I had here was with the school's inter-house sport. Shadell International High School had an most high schools in Nigeria, most schools in Nigeria have they call it international house sports where they have a blue house, green house, yellow house, and just primary colors and green house. So I was in the yellow house, which actually made me like yellow the best. That's why yellow is my favorite color. Okay? Wink wink for the future. The entire school students were pre-divided into these teams, and I was in the yellow house, team, and I was voted to be the team's queen, because I got a pretty face. Don't I? Yeah, right. So one of the senior students on our team back then, she made me up. That was actually my first stint of makeup by my senior. She made me up. I put a wig on, the most beautiful gown, loaned. I won't mention her name here because I don't have a permission, but she was one of the people that left an incredible positive impression on me. I felt like a queen on that day, and I've never been so happy in my life back then. This is why yellow is my favorite color. I had a good time. Here in the States, reunited with my family, I had to start over from 10th grade at Curtis High School, in New York City. And because of my age, they had to put me back one grade. And then that was also when I started my nursing career. Life was definitely different with relearning who my parents were in a new country, their beliefs, their values, and their parenting was modified from what I knew. Schooling was very different. I missed my friends and my neighbors. My mentality then was that once we leave, we won't be able to see them or talk to them again. I was depressed. That was when Facebook came out originally and became popular, and I was able to reconnect with them, but the relationship wasn't the same, just like any relationship. I took public transportation to school and was told to go to school and come right back home. High school was horrid here. Oh my goodness. It wasn't like back home. I pretended through it all, just like my pregnancies. Students made fun of my shoes, my accent, and boy, did I even retire into my shell the more. Okay? I'm talking too much now. I tried to be like some of the students in my class and join the running team. After a while, I was asking myself, why am I punishing myself? Who's running after me? Why did I join the running team? Who's running after me? And figuratively and physically, I was just done. I was always the last in every competition. I was alone a lot, so I just quit the team. I'm like, forget this. Then I tried another team, lawn tennis, which I love, but I quit that too. I was finding myself and where I had belonged, but it just didn't work out in high school. Unfortunately, my self-esteem was so low because I had acne also. Back home, I could have eaten all the peanuts I could have and not get a lick of pimple. But here, one peanut could give me maybe 5 to 6 bumps on my head. Painful ones too. So that kind of had a negative impact on my life, and I was still trying to get used to the food here too. I finished high school at 17 years old, still unsure of myself, my achievements, and what laid ahead of me. This was around 2004. I was off to college. I went, pursuing nursing further. The funny thing that happened to me in high school that I would never forget though, before I move on to college, is that one night I had vegetables the night before going to school, and by the next morning I was having a lot of stomach trouble. While I was on the bus, it felt like everyone could hear my stomach growling and grumbling. I had to poop, and I tried so hard to hold it till I got to school. Every step I took was with hot prayer. I remembered my dad's office was not far from my school. So, and my dad was still at home because I had to leave earlier to get to school on time. So I made it to the office, but the office was closed, and trust me, I lost all hope. My GI system just released the unimaginable. My pants, my shoes, everything soiled. I didn't eat vegetable for a long time after that. Trust me. I was so glad that didn't happen in my school. My life would have been over. As if it wasn't over already. Like, that would have been second death. I'm always glad that I didn't attend university back in my country. There's so many things, there's so many stories that could have happened, you know. Like the professor not giving me my grade that I deserve because I didn't sleep with him, or the cult member that will be chasing me, or bribing professors just so I can get my grades, and many more. I attended a local college here for my undergraduate nursing program. That took me 5 years to complete. Nothing special, you know, really happened out of the ordinary in college, except I was still finding my way. And then I found my husband. I started my master's program before we got married, and I wanted to finish the program actually before I started having kids, but that didn't happen. The children came first before I finished. It was tough, but I'm glad that's over. All I get to do now is focus on my children's success. There was a lot of moving when I was younger, and I'm hoping to keep that to a minimum for my children so that they can grow in a consistent and uninterrupted manner. There was also that period of 5 years that we weren't with our parents, and even though my aunt and my grandma did an awesome job raising us in that critical time period of our lives, I still would have preferred to be with my parents. So for me, I hope that there won't be a situation where I would be separated from my kids. So anyway, the moral of all this rambling is to cherish every moment, every experience, every situation, every hardship, every disappointment, every negative time of your life. You know, cherish them, because with all that will come growth. It'll come wisdom and a life of fulfillment. Now, to you guys, have you experienced anything close to what I have? Have you ever moved a lot when you were younger? What were the consequences that you felt, you know, that you experienced? And, you know, any separation from your parents while growing up. You know, do share your experiences. I always love going back in time and just relive memories. You know, these are the things that make you grow and really enjoy your life, whether you've had positive experiences or negative experiences. I want to thank you very much for staying with me till the very end. I didn't mean for this to be this long, but I do hope you enjoyed every minute of it, and I hope you learned something new about me today. So that's all for now, you guys. If you're new to this channel, once again, my name is Laraddiji. Ask questions if you have any. You can leave a comment as well. Also, you can like this video by giving it a thumbs up. You know, just a reminder to get notified of newly posted videos. You know, subscribe, click that red button. The next video will be about the twins, you know, School of Fraternal Twins, and how they are alarm clocks for us. Remember all you did to your parents. All right. So the next one will be about the twins. They are gated alarm clocks. I call them alarm clocks for parents. Have you ever been a child? You know, do you remember all the things you did to your parents? So you definitely want to check that out. Do check out the suggested videos in the description box below. I'm hoping to read from you guys. Don't forget to love your neighbor as yourself. Remember to rest in peace. We all need to be living in peace. Stay blessed. I do love you guys. All right. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Stay blessed. I'll see you in my next video. All I seek, I find it in you.